Greetings, Patrick here, A Question Swift, and welcome to the show. So yes, we have a hell of a show for you guys tonight. That's for sure. You might even get a clue about what the show is about if you take a look at my name. What's that say? The Gigan Fan Club? Hell to the yeah! That's right. That's our boy. As a matter of fact, let me just grab something real quick here. So it would be sort of wrong to actually do this without the guest of honor. Personally, I think that'd probably be a bad thing to do. But yeah, let's see who our special co-host is. That's right, hell to the yeah, it's our buddy. Some of you may know that we have a lot of fun with the guy again. Myself and Casey from Interweb Kaiju and Ben from Cadaver Club. They're all massive Kaiju fans like Doc and Krittur are. And we have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, Gigan's our boy. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming in. I see we already have Jerry is here, and Anthony just popped in there. And yeah, let's do it. Let's see, and Miss J's reviews. I don't know if I know you, but you're more than welcome to come on in and say hello. We're going to be talking to both Doc Kaiju and Krittur. They're going to be here in about 15 minutes, and it is going to be a lot of fun. Hi, just me. Hi, just me. Well, welcome in. This is 8 Questions With. This is my ongoing series in which I interview people from all over. Our motto is anybody who wants to talk to us, we'll talk to them. And so tonight we are talking to a couple of our own. Doc and Krittur have their own podcast, visual podcast here on YouTube. They also are part of another group called From Academy. We'll get into that. I think that's led by Julie B. Julie Deep Dives. I think we'll get that when Doc gets here. All right. Anybody who was here earlier and caught our retro tube, thank you so much for that as well. We had Hey Internet, it's Eric here. Him and I were discussing a 90s syndicated show called Renegade, and we had a hell of a lot of fun talking about that show. But tonight it is all about kaiju and critters and Bigfoot. We're talking Bigfoot today, because I think that counts as a critter. A critter sort of can be a cryptid, cryptid critter. I think that works. We'll know when Krittur gets here if that fits. Of course, Doc was I watched his podcast tonight. He's talking to him and Krittur were talking about the new Godzilla season of Monarch, the new, which it's interesting to me. I was really into it, listening to the show, and those guys had their fingers on the freaking pulse of Godzilla. I really enjoy listening to them talking about the ideas and theories and breaking down the series that's coming up. It does seem, and it's something we're going to ask about, it does seem like they have literally snuck a Godzilla movie under the radar through the guise of a television series. That's cool. I mean, because if you look at the previews of Monarch, it's all about the new Titan and Godzilla and King Kong. Now, most of the time, you would not expect to see the two boss monsters on a TV show because you want them to be you want the interest to them to be like when they announce a new movie. You want the interest to be there for that movie. Like everybody starts aiming for that release date. But I think they did something better than that, and that is like, listen, instead of just laying low for 2 or 3 years because that's how long it's going to take for the movie to get made. Why don't we just do on maybe on a lesser scale a little bit, but what we could do a Godzilla King Kong right here underneath the Monarch guys. I think it's pretty damn smart. And all right, Eric is here. We just was mentioning our fun time talking all things Reno Reigns and Renegade. And yes, we got a new project already underway for Retro Jam, Retro Tube. I cannot wait for that. I know you guys, once you see what it is, you'll be excited too. I will, well, at least I hope so. I am very excited. So we're going to be talking about, me and Eric will be bringing you something fresh in March as far as that goes. But of course, like I said, now it's all about Godzilla, Gigan, Kong, all things kaiju, including some independent kaiju. And like, and other kaiju that may not get as much love right now as Godzilla is. And like Gamera, of course, there's Gamera there. Still waiting. And tell me, I know I'm not the only one. I just know I'm not. But all this crossover, Kong, Godzilla, X, what? I just, there's got to be a Pacific Rim crossover. There has to be. I don't understand why they haven't done this already. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I'm sure Toho would not be adverse to letting us use Godzilla and a few of the other monsters to fight Gypsy Danger. I just don't see that. Now I understand they can't kill him per se. Yeah, we can't have them kill. We can't have Raleigh Beckett kill Godzilla. We get that, but that's why you make up henchmen for, so you can kill them and keep the two boss monsters. They fight to a draw. They both Godzilla goes back to the breach, and Pacific Rim goes back to Hong Kong. Okay. Let's see. Bigfoot will whip the shit out of Patrick Bateman. Hell yeah, that's right. Bigfoot is awesome. Now that's something too. Not only would he whip the ass off of Patrick Bateman, but you damn well know that Bigfoot would crush Dexter, which I still cannot believe. I still cannot believe that over Movies and Beyond, they had a battle, and Bigfoot fought Dexter. They were sitting there saying that Dexter would beat Bigfoot. I don't know what universe they're living in, but in the real world where we are all at, that wouldn't happen. That's just not going to happen. So yeah, what's up with that? What he's Patrick Bateman. It's Patrick Bateman. It ain't Batman. See, Jerry mentions I just watched the 1954 Godzilla yesterday. Yeah, I have to. You know what? It's funny. It's like I got sent and I've been reviewing it slowly. I got sent a DVD from our good friend Bones, and it has Gamera movies on there, plus one other one. And I've been having fun once in a while, reaching down there, grabbing a Gamera movie and watching and reviewing it. They're still a lot of fun. They still hold up. I enjoy the hell out of them. It's so cool to go back there, and I got a copy of Godzilla. I got the copy of the 1954 Godzilla too. I picked that up when Family Video was closing. I went in like a beeline and got the Godzilla. I was like, this is the only one they had too, so I grabbed it. So yeah, I totally get that. I do not think I had the Sony one. Yeah, I don't think I had the Sony one. I saw it at the theater, and I liked Jean Reno was really good in it, but that's all I can say about it. But that movie was bullshit, man. And the Japanese fans in Godzilla Final Wars, they told you, Toho told the world exactly what they thought of Sony's version of Godzilla, which was they had Zilla up there and got killed in like 3 seconds. He got he got thrown inside down in Australia. He got thrown inside the amphitheater, and then Godzilla nuked his ass out in about 3 seconds. So that was their way of telling the world that they were unhappy with how Godzilla was treated by the Americans. And look at, I mean, it took a long time. It took almost 20 years for them to actually give it, give it another run. Like, okay, well, look, we already gave it to you once. You fucked it up. I don't know if I want to do this again, but okay. And the first Godzilla was not very good. And don't get me going on Skull Island. Don't get me going. Oh, there's some bullshit. It just makes me cringe when every time an American studio says they want to do a kaiju movie. I just dread it. I absolutely. It's like we just never get it right. We never get it right. And even the Godzilla movies now, Godzilla and Kong, still don't get it right. I don't know how hard it can be to go back there to Toho, look at some of the movies and go like, oh yeah, King Ghidorah, that's a boss monster. But we treated him like he was just an afterthought. Rodan, that's a badass monster. And yet he's treated like an afterthought. So we're going to talk to Doc Kaiju and Krittur about this and some other things too. So we're glad you're here. Welcome to the show. And if you have questions for Doc and Krittur, by all means, drop them in the chat. Here we go.
Hi.
Greetings, Krittur.
What's up?
Hi, how are you?
Man, I'm great. I've been
all right.
so excited
Doc, I think Doc will be here momentarily.
Yeah, I usually just pop in early into the studio, make sure everything's good.
No problem. Glad you're here, and some people are already here. Glad to see you. We're talking a little bit about Godzilla. And let me see. The chat here is already talking. I was monologuing. I was, my inner syndrome had me monologuing a little bit. So, let's see. Just me is here. Jerry is here. Eric is here. And we're all ready to talk. We're all ready to talk critters. We're all ready to talk kaiju. We're all ready to talk Bigfoot. Because I know you have thoughts on Bigfoot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, we have a lot of questions coming up here for you. We're gonna talk Godzilla. You notice my name, so you have to welcome to the Gigan fan club.
All right.
We're all things Gigan here.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's right. It's my boy right here. Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about how the American version of Godzilla has just it's had a really rough history. Starting with 1998's Godzilla movie, and it's even now it's still sort of rough. Like when I watched Godzilla, when we watched the first Godzilla movie and Godzilla versus Kong, they had the big monsters that we know and love, like Mothra and King Ghidorah and who else was on there? Rodan. Those monsters are badass. I mean, King Ghidorah has held off like 5 or 6 monsters all by himself.
Yeah.
But the American version had him getting wiped out. And it's just like, wow, you just didn't get the character. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I did listen to your podcast today, and you guys were breaking down the second season of Monarch, and I was impressed. You guys know your shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you guys are dialed in on it. I mean, you guys were asking questions I didn't even think of, and making comments. The only thing I was when I was listening to that, and I saw the preview of it, and I even asked Doc. I said, "It seems like this season, Monarch is going to take the place of a new Godzilla movie because there's so many titans being featured in this season, much more than the first one. I mean, we're talking. Could it be Sharktopus?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I'm going like, that wouldn't be such a bad idea because Sharktopus would be interesting. They would have to find a role for Eric Roberts, of course. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to you.
Hi.
Yeah. So I guess while we'll wait for Doc to show up here, we'll talk a little about you and your background as far as. So tell us a little bit about your love for all things kaiju. Are you a kaiju fan first, or would you say you're like more of a cryptid fan first? Because you do critters, which means I'm taking creature features.
So, I mean, like I was born in '97, so like right as I was beginning to be able to form memories, the '98 Godzilla came out, and then my dad worked at Blockbuster, and then they pivoted to more DVDs. So we ended up with like pretty much all the Showa era movies on VHS, and I just fell in love. And like the whole critter thing is just when I was still in the womb, my dad was like, "Oh, it's like a little critter," but he wanted it to be unique, so gave it a special spelling. So it's just I've always been critter, but growing up in Alabama in the backwoods, there's all kinds of cryptids and stuff just
Yeah.
around. So I mean, I have a little bit of knowledge on that, but like I really first and foremost grew up with just like kaiju stuff. A little bit of Gamera, not as knowledgeable about him. But yeah, man, just really mostly kaiju.
Yeah, I take it you grew up watching well, I guess they still have some independent stations back there in the late '90s. So I take it that's where you started watching your kaiju movies, like on the late night show, or they would do like a week of monsters, and you would always run out the Godzilla versus King Kong, and what have you. Is that where you first got? Is that where you first got introduced to the kaiju through television, or did it come through VHS?
It was pretty much all VHS. Like I was
Nice.
3 years old, knowing how to work the VHS player, and I would just like rotate the movies out on my own.
For 3 years old and knowing how to master the VCR just to watch kaiju movies. That's some Hall of Fame shit right there.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it'd be 3 a.m. and my parents would wake up and I'm just sitting there in front of the TV watching like Godzilla versus Gigan.
Hell yeah. I know who you're rooting for too, right?
Not Anguirus.
Doc just came through, so let me get Doc in here and we'll get this party really raging. Welcome, Doc.
Greetings, dear denizens of planet Dirt. It is I, your future Exilian overlord, Doc Kaiju.
That's right. And I'm Patrick, and with my good pal Gigan, really to rock the world.
Oh, I got a couple of them here. Let's see.
Oh yeah, here we go.
We got a Final Wars Gigan here.
Hell yeah! Look how badass
Bandai.
that is.
Right, still got the tag.
Oh man, see, look at that.
Then we got
now, Krittur. Now you got some kaiju figures, don't you?
So I did, but my son, he's about to be 3 years old, and I introduced him to Godzilla, and he has ended up taking them over to his mom's house, pretty much all of them. So I don't have any more of my own.
Oh my god, that's crazy. How does that happen? Isn't there a law against that?
Yeah, probably.
But you know what though? As long as he understands that he grows up, he's carrying a legacy. Your dad left you this awesome legacy to follow. I guess it's worth it. I guess it's worth having them because they'll come back and probably come back in pretty good shape, if you ask me.
Actually, he's like the fourth generation Godzilla fan too, because like my grandfather, started my dad on it back in the '70s.
I think it's safe to say, honestly, I think it's safe to say that for a lot of horror fans, because horror, you always ask people, well, what do you remember? What was the first thing you saw horror? And honestly, it's really, I've had people say, Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween. I don't know why they say that, but they say Halloween. But a lot of the one thing they have in common, at least for the male fans, not too. I don't get too many women fans of kaiju, but as far as the male fans go, the kaiju movies were their first horror creature feature. There was the first thing they could identify with. Once I saw it, I became a fan because of it. That's quite a
Godzilla
quite a
1985.
legacy all in itself, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, Godzilla 1985 was one of the first movies that I remember. Apparently, King Kong versus Godzilla was the first Godzilla movie that I had seen, but the first one I remember is 1985, and that's the first one my parents owned.
And that was one that Toho put out.
Yep.
Let
Yeah.
me go to the chat real quick. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Tom Baker is here. Glad you're here, Tom. And he says hello, Doc.
Hi, Tom.
Prince is here. Let's see. Patrick, you're only missing SpongeBob. I don't know if SpongeBob is be considered a kaiju though. Let's see. Ankui, Dieter. Hello. Glad you're here.
Hey,
Glad
Dieter.
you're here. All right. Let's see. And let's see. Now we got one more in here.
Rocking
Rand. Oh, Breyer and friends. Did Doc like the new Godzilla versus Kong movies? I thought, you know what? Yeah, why not start with that question? Because I was on the soapbox before you got here, and talking about like the American version of King of Godzilla. So I mean, in all honesty, how do you think it's doing so far? The American handling of the Godzilla series, Godzilla Kong series. Are you a big fan of it, or are you still waiting like me? I'm still waiting to be impressed.
I like them. I don't love them as much as the Toho Godzilla.
Right.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
I
Me and
definitely
Krittur. Go ahead.
I have a love for them, but it's just not the same. It's not the same for me. Um, Godzilla King of the Monsters, that hit right. The others, I really like them and I appreciate them, but I'm not like obsessed with them like I am the Toho Godzilla.
I'm right there
I
with
guess. Yeah. I am with you too. I mean, I remember seeing the first, when they did Kong Skull Island, and I remember watching that, and I'm just sitting there with my mouth open, and I'm going just like looking at it and going like, what are they doing? I just, it's just like how is it that Americans cannot? I mean, they can create great superhero movie, they can create great action movies, but it seems like when it comes down to kaiju, other than and even then we could talk. Even then we could talk a little bit about that too. But it seems like other than Pacific Rim, they just can't get it right. 98 Godzilla, the Godzilla King of Monsters is like, you're just you're sort of underwhelmed. And Godzilla versus Kong I thought that was decent. I mean, it was, but overall, it just doesn't seem, you're right. It doesn't have the Toho feel to it.
I liked the 2014 Godzilla. Like I really did. It felt like we were finally gonna get somewhere with it. And then like Skull Island was all right. King of the Monsters, they weren't sure if they were gonna be able to make more, so that's why they threw in as much as they did. But then like versus Kong and the New Empire just felt contrived and rushed and
Hmm. Yeah.
inconsistent.
It's almost like sometimes a studio will get the rights to a property, and they have, like, you have 4 years to get it to the theater. And then they him and Hall trying to put together a production team and everything else. And before you know it, that 4 years has shrank down to 2 years, and all of a sudden then they feel like they need to rush. We got to hurry the hell up. And so and they do, and then we get the King of the Monsters, or the one where he King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan all get like toasted within like the first in 5 minutes, and you're just shaking your head, going like, "This is just wrong. This is the Americans all over again, not paying attention to anything." And it's like there's no excuse for it. There really isn't. It's like, how hard is it to make a good Godzilla movie when you have so many that Toho made out? Now, I'm not saying every Toho movie, because people would just clown on me. I'm not saying that every Toho movie is great. We all know the bad ones. We do know those. But when they got, as bad as they got, when they got it right, they really got it right. And it just frustrates me that I don't know why they just can't seem to get it, or they refuse to.
Yeah.
Because
they're trying to cater to a different audience here. Also, I think too, some of it might be the funding and how funding influences the films. And right now they're trying to market younger, it seems. Godzilla versus Kong and New Empire. They seem to be really popular with the younger crowd.
yeah, part of that too is because the appeal of the team up. Everybody wants to see. I think people really like the idea of Kong and Godzilla teaming up and taking on, another boss monster, which they could have had if they wouldn't have messed up with King Ghidorah.
Right.
Let me go back to the chat real quick here. Let's see. Oh, let me scroll up here. Wow, you guys are really carrying it here. Woo. Let's see. Tom says the first scary movie that he remembered watching was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. In 1978. Oh hell yeah, that was a scary ass movie. Let's see. On Kui, Godzilla King of the Monsters was awesome. After that, the story went way too fast, and I also don't like the futuristic vehicles. It's too much. Yeah, it took a long time for the Toho movies to come out with some really cool science fiction-y, Mecha Godzilla and the spaceship they had out there. Though they did have a spaceship out there and Destroy All Monsters, where they were in a tunnel trying to cut that cable. That was pretty
Well, before
exciting.
that was Invasion of Astro Monster. That was movie 6, and that's where like you have the Zillions come down and like pull up Rodan and Godzilla to like fight up in space. So that was like movie 6, and then they're doing it at movie 4 of this universe. Like I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
I
Destroyer
do
Monsters
too.
had the Moonlight SY3, I think it was called.
I agree. I think they rushed it a little bit, and then it really got me. What killed me was the fact how they just wiped out three boss monsters like nothing. Rodan and Ghidra and Mothra. It's just like, wow. It's just like, do you not know how big they really are? I mean, their history at all. It's like no one went back to and watched a single movie from Toho. Nobody did it. We're just gonna do it this way and be damned with it. And it's just like, well, that's what got you in trouble with 98, because you didn't listen to anybody. No, it's like you're gonna spend $200 million on this and anybody else who objects we're gonna do what we want to do. Well, you did, and then you saw what happened. I mean, even to today, we don't talk Godzilla 98. Let's see.
Some people
Wow,
do.
you guys are really flying. I like the Tom Messing's like the Tom Raymond Burr Godzilla movie. Me too. I got that one. The feeling in that Godzilla movie was awesome. The foot at the airport. Yeah, indeed, the latest movies are just action movies. Now, and Skull Island was so good. Now you and I might have to talk about that.
I like Skull Island a lot.
You liked
It
it
was
a
all
lot?
right.
Yeah, that was a great
Oh,
movie.
man, I just, they did so many stupid things. I mean, you're sitting there watching this, and you're just seeing them do stupid shit. Flying in the range of the monsters. Like, I mean, it was just like, dude, you have no chance against that, but you're gonna go ahead and fly into it. It's like I would go up there, turn my helicopter the other way, and get the hell out of Dodge because I don't know. I mean, and it was just stuff like that. And it's just like there's no logic in that movie for me. And even though it's a kaiju movie and it's fantasy, you still want to see some practicality in it, some logic, because that helps move the story along. Um, let's see. I like it when they make Godzilla a threat. Yes, he should always be a threat, always. Um, you save the friendly kaiju for Gamera. Let me see. uh, see, King of the Monsters had too much dialogue and cutaway shots. I know they had to use Millie Bobby Brown a lot in that one. I'd rather have hung out with the kaiju more than watch for characters. Yeah, I think I'm not defending that. What I'll say though is sort of like a superhero movie is it's sort of like it was sort of like a it's sort of like a almost like an origin movie, where you have to go back and you have to explain to the audience that knows nothing about kaiju. You have to explain who they are and what they're doing here and their abilities. So yes, sometimes dialogue does drag and action does drag, but that's because they're trying to explain what's going on to an audience that doesn't know better. It's like, what are we watching? Well, okay, let me tell you. And so sometimes they use exposition for that. I did ask. I did ask Critter about where he got into Godzilla at. So let me take that question and point it to you, Doc, and tell us a little bit about your history with Godzilla and Gamera and any other kaiju you want to talk about.
Yeah, sure. From my dad, pretty much. My dad's a big Godzilla fan, and so yeah, at some point I saw, as I mentioned before, King Kong versus Godzilla on TV. I apparently loved it. Um, my dad went out and got Godzilla 1985, which had just come out on VHS, I guess, around that time. So I was about like 1 year old because I was born in '84, and then yeah, I was kind of hooked from there, and so I collected a lot of the Showa era films. I didn't have I hadn't actually heard of any of the Heisei films until I was in like sixth grade, so like 1996. And by then, Godzilla versus Destroyer had already come out, and the Heisei Godzilla was already long dead. Well, at least dead for a year.
Yeah,
And I was very sad to discover that there were all these new Godzilla movies for me to watch, and but that Godzilla, he had already passed away. But yeah, so at some point I found Godzilla vs. Biollante, and that got me repumped into Godzilla. I found G-Fan magazine, which unfortunately we just got notice that they are no longer going to be a physical magazine, which is really sad. Um, and they're behind, I believe, G-Fest. I know that they were behind G-Con, which I believe evolved into G-Fest after like rights disputes over the names of the conventions. But anyway, that was a little bit of a rant.
oh my gosh, the I've been on YouTube for 5 years, and the most popular page or the most people I've ever seen on any one channel during a live stream was during Godzilla Day, and they had over 23,000 people
Oh,
on the chat.
smokes.
23,000. I mean,
I attended
it
this
was,
year's.
huh?
I
What?
attended this year's.
Oh,
Yeah.
how was it?
Well, at least a good portion of it. It was fun. It was fun to like be hyped up with everyone. The chat was going too fast though.
Oh my gosh, that chat! I've never seen a faster chat. I thought it was gonna crash. I mean, oh my god, they cannot sustain this for the Godzilla Day. They're just not going to. But I'll be damned if they didn't. And that thing was flying. Oh my lord! I mean, you could put high in there, and even before you took your finger off the keyboard, you're already like, you're already like 20,000 ahead already. That you didn't have a chance to even see what you wrote because it was going that fast. And that's the most craziest I've ever seen it on YouTube by
There
far.
was like
By
a
far.
lot of repeating of the programming. Like they showed like the same commercials and stuff over and over again at one
Yeah.
point. I think
Yeah.
that was probably like between events.
I think that the crowd, the chat, they were just doing what we're doing. I don't even know if anybody really was paying attention to what was on the screen. All they really wanted to do was just talk. They just wanted to have a chance to talk to other fans, and I think that's what really drives. And that's really what makes Godzilla still so damn popular today. People just want to talk about it. They want to talk about the kaiju movies. They want to talk about Godzilla and Kong. I mean, because that's the American kaiju. That was
Mhm.
actually the first kaiju. Actually, Godzilla, King Kong was actually the first kaiju.
Kind of.
Because
Actually, it was the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. The Beast
yeah,
from 20,000 Fathoms was actually advertised in Japan as something kaiju, and it was the first motion picture reference to a kaiju.
is that the first? But if you go back to 1933's King Kong, I mean, that really. I mean, if you're gonna, I just feel
Well,
like
yeah,
it's no disrespect
yeah.
to Japan at all, but it's like that was actually the first monster movie. I mean, that's the first monster movie I ever saw, and that came out in 1933. And I don't think
Oh, yeah, you're
Japan.
right. I'm
Yeah,
getting years
Japan.
mixed up for movies.
Yeah, I think Japan, they got started in 1954, right? I mean, that was the first. Or did
Yep.
they? Or did they had they already done any other? Because gosh, they've done so much.
It's
I mean, you
possible they
think.
did some lower budget stuff that is
Mm,
now like either lost to time or I haven't heard of. Um, but yeah, Godzilla was the first. Godzilla was inspired, of course, by King Kong and Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which came out the year before Godzilla. But yeah, King Kong was pretty much the first kaiju, or at least retroactively the first kaiju.
how old were you? How old are you both, Critter and Doc? How old were you? How old were you, or were in terms of watching these movies? Where did 1933 King Kong land for you? Did you watch it when you were really young, or did you discover it after you discovered Godzilla? And after you watched it, what did you think about it?
I definitely found it when I was like 5 or 6, and so I was like way into my Godzilla phase by then. Like it was okay, but it didn't hold up to Godzilla for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
found it when
20
I was
years.
pretty young. I'm 41 now. Um, and I remember watching the black and white King Kong. I think it was the 70s version, and I preferred King Kong Lives for some reason. Um,
Oh, King Kong lives.
and
That's a good one.
I
Oh my.
remember renting Son of Kong and being really disappointed by it.
Right.
But yeah, they didn't hit as well as Godzilla. But I liked King Kong, but I didn't like. He also gave me the creeps because of how he treated women.
Yeah, the Godzilla, the King Kong 1976. That was I tell you what, that was, I watched that movie. I remember the two things I remember more than anything else was, one, it was Jessica Lange's first movie. That was her breakout movie. And two, I remember how scared shitless I was when Charles Grodin's group went across the log, and then it got broke, and they all fell down to that huge, that just they just kept falling. I remember how scared shitless I was when they all fell like that. I was like, that's scary as hell. Um, they gave me nightmares for a couple of weeks because the way, what happened to them. But I thought 76 King Kong, which is that was my first exposure to kaiju, was King Kong 76. And I remember how I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good, and then how sad it was when Kong got killed. And then, my mom's second husband, who he was a big creature feature fan, and then he's the one that introduced me to Godzilla. He says, come watch this. And after that, I just, I was like, oh, this is so badass. And then they had Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm going like, they have King Kong? I thought he was killed. And says, no, there he is. And so I watched Kong versus Godzilla, and that was a fun movie. Everybody thought that they split the endings to mean two different endings, but they really didn't, did they?
No,
No.
not really. The endings are just slightly different, but not really much. I think in one you can hear Godzilla roar at the end. And that's pretty much the only difference, I think. And I think sometimes and there's a little bit of a dialogue difference, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That was I remember watching that, and they showed back then, that's what we were told. So we're thinking about that, and it's like, and you're thinking, there's no way King Kong is going to be able to match up against Godzilla. But then they gave him some superpower shit, some electricity. Yeah, that'll power him up. And you know what? You had to even the playing field to make it, because over for American audiences, I don't think they really would have liked it too much just to see their, our monster get, pulverized so fast. Even though in reality, that's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no way. I mean, first of all, let's just be honest. I mean, I might hear some feedback. I might get some feedback here in the chat. We'll see about that. But I'm just gonna say that, as bad as King Kong is, there's no way he's beating Godzilla on Kong's best day and Godzilla's worst day. There's no way he's beating Godzilla.
Oh yeah, and the original Kong was like really small. I think he was only like 20 feet or something, maybe 15.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, and Godzilla, the original one, was like what, I think like 50 something or 100 feet. I can't remember.
Whatever 50 meters is.
Plus the breath.
Okay,
Plus
so
the
yeah, like
atomic breath.
150.
I just
plus
saw
the
that.
breath.
Yeah, on top. It's like, it was great to see that Toho got the rights to King Kong, but that they also said, listen, you can have him get his ass whipped, but you just can't kill him. You can't kill Kong. We'll have them fight to a draw. But in actuality, there really wasn't a draw. It was just like, I think Godzilla just got bored.
Well, actually, originally canonically they were going to have Godzilla die, and then they were going to kind of revive him and bring him back to life in the next movie, but then they decided, no, we're just going to make it a draw, and Godzilla lives. And but the Japanese film is almost kind of like a different film though, as far as like the dialogue and the story goes. But as far as the fight goes, it's exactly the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
Good fight. I mean,
Good fight.
I mean, if you're introducing anybody to Godzilla, what movie would you introduce them to?
Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
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 I'll say
like,
bitter.
I don't know. I mean, because the Heisei one, like 84 or 85, that one's really good. But like, I think showing them either the original or one of the more like grounded, soulful movies, kind of like Biollante, like I think that would be a good one too.
Yeah.
For some people, Mothra is a good introduction. Well, Godzilla versus Mothra 1992.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Which one was it?
Godzilla versus Mothra, the 1992 film. Heisei film.
Okay, so I always use this to describe Mothra, but I always say Mothra is sort of like the Redshirt of Godzilla movies. If you think of Redshirt from Star Trek, she's always like the Redshirt in Godzilla movies.
I'm not familiar with Richard.
Let's see. Let's see. Let me scroll up here and catch the chat out here. See, Angui. Oh, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Yes, please feel free to share and subscribe. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much. See, These guys need to follow Kaiju United. Okay. We need to find Kaiju on United and follow him. Let's see. Let's see. They're mentioning has Krittur. Oh, okay. Here's a question for Krittur. Has Krittur ever broken up with a girl because she didn't like Godzilla?
No, I don't even get with them if they don't like Godzilla.
Is that like instead of like where are you from or how old you are or what do you do for a living? Would your first question be off a dating site be which Godzilla movie is your favorite?
Probably.
Well, the one with Matthew Broderick. Oh, you're out of here.
Yeah,
I have
you're gone.
I have actually asked what your favorite Godzilla movie is on a dating website before.
That's actually well. I already know what both yours would be already. I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to do anything to sway your sway.
Well, the first movies that I show to people are not the same as my favorites. My favorite is Godzilla versus Biollante, and then probably Godzilla vs. Mothra 1992, and then Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993. But I have a soft spot for Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. The Smog Monster / Hedorah.
Man,
Yeah.
the smog monsters. That's an underrated one. And don't
I took that one
forget
to
though.
school one day.
But don't forget Godzilla versus Gigan. First time that Godzilla ever got lit up. Remember, first time he ever bled on screen, Gigan fucked him up.
Yep.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Krittur, before?
We were having a movie day back in like 4th grade. We were all, y'all can bring a movie, and I brought Godzilla versus Smog Monster.
Oh no.
Like that VHS. Nobody wanted to watch it but me. But yeah, I brought that one.
Oh man, that actually
With the
might be the
children
most.
friggin' suffocating in the schoolyard and stuff, right? In that one. Oh man.
I was gonna say
Have the
that was
teacher
probably
rating.
the most. Do you think that was probably the most graphic, violent one right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, by far,
That's kind of why I loved it.
Yeah, it was like, damn. Okay, people are getting waxed here. Of course, any good movie, any good Godzilla movies always featured one secret weapon, and they had to have this in the movie, otherwise it always knocked it down a peg. And that is, and this is for you, Casey. They always had to have masers, not lasers, but the masers, because masers were taking care of business.
Yeah, they introduced the masers in War of the Gargantuas, but they were inspired by kind of like the next stage of the the heat tank or whatever from Mothra. But yeah, after that they became a staple.
Yes, maze. If it doesn't have masers, it's not a kaiju movie. See, King Kong Lives is great. I love King Kong Lives. I actually did a review on that. See, I also did a review on Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon. See, I was and still am a Hammer fan. Dracula, 1958. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with those, man. Those are awesome movies. Anybody hasn't seen Vampire Lovers, highly recommend that. See, it used to be on the BBC double bill Hammer nights. Peter Jackson did the best King Kong movie after the original. 1000% yes. That is actually my favorite King Kong movie right there. Is Peter Jackson's Kong. I love that movie. I think he crushed it. That's the best King Kong movie on any level. I really enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I will go with that. I mean, it's just as far as a standalone Kong movie goes, Jackson's is the best, I feel. But I did like the other ones. I did like, King Kong, King Kong Escapes. I thought that was really well done as well.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's
love
a
that
fun one.
Now we're also, but we're talking about Godzilla, heavily linked Godzilla, but we got to talk about some of the other kaiju that were around too. Ultraman, Johnny Sokko, Zone Fighter. Are you guys big into the other aspects of Japanese kaiju?
I like Ultraman.
Ultraman is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I'm into like Ultraman, um, Power Rangers, a little bit. I've seen a little bit of Super Sentai. Power Rangers just easier to watch because it's in English, so I can just put it on while I'm doing things. Also, there's more of a fan base here in the U.S. for Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Um, so it's a little bit more accessible. They have like conventions dedicated to Power Rangers here, so I focused a little bit more attention on that and Ultraman. But I love Ultraman, and
Hmm.
I haven't seen more than like the first episode of Zone Fighter. I have a DVD set here somewhere, um, and I'm not familiar with the other one that you mentioned, but like I have seen other tokusatsu like Fire Booster Armor Guyver. I've seen like some Attack on Titan. Um,
Oh,
wh-
Attack on Titan is insane. That's
I
insanity. That's a great
yeah,
series.
I'd
If
seen
you've never seen if you ever seen uh, uh, Attack on Titan or Titans or the Attack on Titan, if you haven't, boy, if you haven't seen that, that needs to be the first thing you watch after this show. That's an amazing. I remember seeing that for the first time on a clip, and I was so blown away with it. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then I studied it, and looked at it, researched it, and I'm like, "This is amazing. This is absolutely just a crazy ass series." Why do you feel both of you? I'll put this question to both of you. Why do you think Japanese have it so much over everybody else in the world when it comes down to creating creature features or in kaiju movies? I mean, even today, they still rule.
maybe their mythology. Oh, that's Critter. Sorry.
No, you can go, man. I don't even know
No, no.
the right words to say because, like, you have the original one, and that was Ishiro Honda, and like every movie that he made, there was always a deeper level to it, and so I think that going off of his example, the best kaiju movies also have that deeper theme that I don't think Americans really can really replicate because we didn't go through two atomic bombs, Like
Mm.
the deepest kaiju movies are the best ones to me. And I think that nobody can really like replicate that. You go, Doc.
I I think that's a really I think that's a really good point, and I think I'll even add on to this. Then I'll let you have the floor, Doc. But one of the things I really enjoy about the kaiju movies is how seriously they take it. I mean, you watch the actors. There is no ham, no chewing the scenery, no chewing grass, no wink, wink at the camera, look what we're doing here. We're, rubber suits. There's none of that. The actors are playing it straight, maybe except for Revenge of Godzilla. Um, I think they play it straight, like every actor, it's life and death, and it's like it's serious. And over here we look at it and poke fun at the rubber suits and all that, but I think the reason why that it's so serious is because of what you just mentioned, because Japan did go through the two atomic bombs, and they equate the kaijus with those bombs. That's no playing matter for them, even to today. Uh, Even the last two Godzilla movies they put out, you know, Godzilla minus one, and I mean they take it serious.
I think part of it might be due to their cultural mythologies with sacred beasts and things, but also too, I think what Critter says is a major part of it. That when they started creating these movies, especially with Godzilla was such a success because it had so much depth to it. And then from there, it was a sensation, especially there in Japan culturally. And so more companies started making more, and it became part of their culture. Suitmation became an art form. Um, and I think that's probably why kaiju became so like when people think of giant monsters, they tend to think of Japan. And I think that's probably why. Of course, other countries tried to replicate it with some success, but not nearly as much. Like we have Gorgo, for example, and that was, I think, Britain, and that's a fantastic kaiju movie.
I just think some of some of the. I mean, I think of when I think of Americans. I mean, I think more of science fiction-y, more of that, more creature features than I do, than I do anything else. But sure, we might have some dinosaur movies like Jurassic Park, but that's not a kaiju movie. That's science fiction.
Right.
And so it's not the same on the same level. I do
But
think.
for it to be, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, for it to be a kaiju film, I feel like the monster has to be a character. And I know when Toho refers to the kaiju, they don't call them kaiju or monsters, they call them characters, at least when they're talking behind the scenes.
I
Yeah.
can see
And
that.
I think that's a big difference between how Japan treats the giant monster films and a lot of American companies do. And I think that's also kind of what sets apart a giant monster film from a kaiju film.
I think it's really telling that the fact that you see a lot of you see when you go to a Godzilla movie, and people said that that I've talked to that actually been to the theater, you would think that it'd just be full of teenagers, yeah, monster. They're not. They're adults. That's a movie going experience for them. I don't know how many people here in the United States go to the Godzilla movies now. I think that more go now because of the strength of the cast, which I really think helps draw the American audience to the cinema for it. But over in Japan, that's always been sort of like that, except for a couple of movies that were obviously aimed for kids. I think Toei, that's the creator of Gamera.
Um,
I think they wanted part of the action, but they knew that they could not compete with Godzilla because it had already been too ingrained in the culture. And I think do you think that's the reason why they shifted their the way they got their creature across? They said, well, you know what, we're going to make our creature friends of kids. We're going to try to get the youth audience in here to buy tickets because we can't match up, nose to nose with any Godzilla movie. But what if we made ours into more into kid friendly? And then Godzilla, I mean, Gamera would answer kids. They would say, "Gamera, come here," and here he comes. You couldn't do that with Godzilla, but you could do that with Gamera and make it much more kid friendly.
well,
Do you think?
Critter, I think you know a little bit about the origin of how Gamera came about.
So like in terms of when Gamera came out, like the first one, that's about when the Showa era was starting to draw in more children. So like, I mean, it makes sense that they would target children audience more so anyway. Because I mean, that's around the time that it was like Astro Monster and like Destroy All Monsters, stuff like that. Because it was the later 60s, if I'm thinking right.
Well, that's the direction that they went. But oh, and it was Daiei, that was Gamera, and they originally though they were going to go a different route. They were going to go a giant rat route
Oh,
called
Yeah.
Nezera,
oh,
and
wow.
they were going to make a movie with it was it the giant rat horde beast Nezera, and it was going to be about hordes of rats, and then there was a giant rat, and the production got shut down because I believe it was fleas or something from the rats got all over the place and started spreading, and I think rats were getting loose, and they were using wild caught rats instead of like captive bred
Yeah.
rats, which
It was
caused
like a
additional
health
problems.
violation.
Yeah, it was major
Oh,
health violations. The whole production got shut down. There's what do you call it? Like a not a mockumentary, a biopic on the film. I've watched part of it. It's pretty interesting, and also it's also pretty sad at the same time. But they had to go
Yeah.
back to the drawing board, and then they came up with Gamera, and yeah, it went a kid's route very quickly.
yeah. Though I will say that Gamera did have something different that I had never seen before, even in a Godzilla movie. Let me roll over to the chat real quick. Everybody's still commenting. I'm agreeing with with uh, Wire Friends. Am I saying that right? I'm probably not. He just mentioned he like let's see where did he go? Where did I go? Where did I go? Where did I go? See, Tom says he's a Hammer fan. Let's see, where did I go? Anyway, Samuel saying, I'm a normie, but I love Peter Jackson's King Kong. Yes, I love that too. Hey, Jamie.
Samuel.
Jamie Hill is in the house. One of my favorite actresses, favorite guest, star of one of the scariest movies from a couple years ago, Skidamorenic. Thank you for coming in, Jamie.
Hi.
See those.
What's up?
Yeah. See, those early 1900 Japanese warships are incredible. Good Lord, yes, yes. The junks. See, can Critter tell us about his favorite film, Godzilla's Revenge?
Or his favorite
Okay,
friend
so
in Godzilla's Revenge?
is that because Godzilla movies, there was an ebb and flow, right? I mean, there was times where they were super popular. Toho was cranking them out, and then did they go toward the kid route because of the success of Gamera, or how did that happen? How did we get Godzilla's Revenge,
Oh
which might be the
man,
worst Godzilla ever?
there's a lot of soul behind it, but it's a lot of stock footage. So
Mhm.
like after they did Destroy All Monsters, Toho like brought Honda on. We're like, make us another movie, make us some more money. You know, Destroy All Monsters was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
And he really didn't want to do it because of the heavy reliance on stock footage, and there wasn't a big budget. But like the reasons behind what he did with that movie, like making it about a latchkey kid, because it was like becoming a big thing in Japan that both parents had to work, and like that's why he has the bright colored hat, because like there were people not paying attention and running over kids because kids were skipping school, and like the statement that the movie tries to make with the limited budget, I actually have a lot of respect for it. And it was actually Honda's favorite that he ever made too. But like,
I actually
yeah, continue. Sorry.
I actually liked
uh,
it as a kid, at least for a time, because it was kind of like a compilation of like some of Godzilla's greatest scenes. So you kind of just watch them all together. It was my brother's it was one of my brother's favorite Godzilla movies growing up, my younger brother. He would play it on repeat. You know how like little kids will play like a movie like on repeat like over and over and over again? That was one of
right.
them for him. Uh, and
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned about the the clips, because that sort of reminds you like a TV show. Like they'll get into the fourth or fifth season, and they're looking
Mhm.
to save a little money on the budget. And so what they'll do is they'll run a clip show of all the things that have happened in the first four seasons of the show.
Yeah,
It takes no money. Yeah, there's no money. It takes no money, and you fill up a slot, and and it's like it's just a cheap way for a studio to produce content. And so I can see that with the Godzilla movie, with Godzilla's Revenge.
they did that for Gamera too, with Gamera Super Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing about Gamera. I will say this: Gamera. I mean, we sleep on it a little bit. We're thinking, Gamera's the monster for kids. But good Lord, let's talk about a scene that just shocked me. That it was the first time and the only time that I ever read where a scene was actually censored. Um, I
Hmm.
think we lost the doc here.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just grabbing
Um,
something.
and that is Destroy All Planets, with where Gyron and fought Gaius, and Gyron is just chopping him to pieces with blood and everything.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was, yeah. How about that? It was that might have been singularly the most gruesome death of any kaiju I've ever seen in any movie.
Yeah, that was
Growing up.
surprising.
Uh, I mean, that was, it's like you're sitting there watching that, you're going like, because I got an uncut version. They actually had. I didn't realize till I was watching it that all the versions I had seen before have been edited not to show that. And I got one off of public domain, and it showed the whole movie uncut. And I'm going like, here I am, in my 50s, going like, holy shit, I don't remember seeing that when growing up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
some of these movies have a lot of different versions. And then it's funny because sometimes even on the Americanizations or the American versions, they'll have like a scene or two that weren't included in the Japanese version.
Um,
Sometimes for
Very
good
cool.
reason.
Now, how do you think? If you had a matchup that, if you had to match up your top three Japanese movies versus the world top three kaiju movies, what three would you pick for both Japan or for the world? What three movies do you think? I mean, think about not only the just like the technology, but think of the storyline, the acting, everything else. What would be the three top movies of basically Godzilla versus everybody else?
Wait, all right. So you want me to what three kaiju movies do you think I think would stand the best against go toe to toe
Yeah,
against some of the best movies in the
well, I
world?
mean,
So
what three movies do you think had the most influence? Like a Japanese movie versus say an American movie. What three would you pick? Let's go this way. What three Japanese movies would you pick if you had to go head to head with the three best American movies?
I'm not a big I don't know a whole lot of Japanese films outside of Godzilla and Tokusatsu.
That's fine. You can name three
So I
Godzilla
guess
movies if you want to.
the original Godzilla, Godzilla minus one has been hugely influential. Um, and number three, hmm, I guess Gamera. Oh, the I want to say the whole Gamera trilogy, but I guess Gamera
Yeah,
versus Eris, Gamera 3.
yeah. That Gamma trilogy is that's slept on.
yeah,
That's a really good trilogy. I got that at Target. I actually have that trilogy. I couldn't believe it. They were selling it on Blu-ray for $8, and I grabbed
Oh,
that
holy
really
smokes.
fast.
Those
Um,
that's the
what
best
about you,
kaiju
Critter?
trilogy.
What about you, Critter? What three movies would you pick?
I mean, of course, the original Godzilla, and I'm not a huge connoisseur of like Japanese cinema, but like I do like Akira Kurosawa stuff too, and so I guess I'd have to say like Run, and then I like the second movie of the Gamera trilogy more than like the third one. Like it just I don't know, I liked it so much more. The third one kind of felt like cheaper, I
Hmm.
guess. So yeah, I guess that's where I stand.
I I definitely I tell you one thing. I definitely think this. I mean, as much as I love the Japanese movies and they're amazing, and American has always been behind, pretty much ever since. But there was one movie that stood out to me as like that's my bomb. That's really high. That's like my top. That's in my top five for sure. And that was Pacific Rim. That was a badass movie.
Yes. I
That
went into
movie
that one
just
knowing nothing.
when I was watching it, the only thing that came through my mind, other than Chernobyl Alpha survived, because I really wanted them to survive. But the only thing that came to me was like, why didn't Japan do this? Why didn't they? I mean, to me, you're thinking about this. This is something they would have done, but
Right.
Del Toro beat them to the punch. It's like the first time in kaiju movies that I've ever sat there and go like, I would pick that over a Godzilla movie, like in a heartbeat. You know, not Godzilla versus Gigan. I'm not that crazy. That's still my, okay. Just letting you know. Just I don't want to lose my Godzilla card uh, or my Gigan card. But I'm watching that movie and I'm going like, this is a badass movie. I mean, it's exciting. The only thing probably would have been more interesting if they had actually made the monsters a little bit more with a character. Like okay, we see them coming. They're Category 5, but we really don't know them very much. I mean, the Godzilla movies, the Godzilla monsters, a lot of we already knew who they were. Oh, here, Mecha Godzilla, Return of Mecha Godzilla, Destroyer, Destroy All Monsters, Final Wars. I mean, we know all the monsters. They all have their personalities and quirks, and that's probably the only thing I think that really hurt Pacific Rim was their monsters were so damn generic that they fought.
Well, I didn't find their monsters to be generic. Just we don't get to spend much time with them,
No,
and they all look kind of similar. So
yes,
it can be a little bit tricky to like distinguish them.
yeah, I totally agree with that. And when I heard that they were going to go ahead, when I thought they were going to go ahead, do Pacific Rim 2, and you thought, okay, this is going to be good, and then as much excitement as you have for the first movie, you lost it with the second one. The second one looked like it was a CGI cash grab. It's like, how fast can we make it? And it didn't really have any of the impact that the first movie did. And you already knew even beforehand, you knew that Raleigh wasn't going to make it because Charlie Hunnam was doing Sons of Anarchy. So you already knew that he wasn't going to make it. And then they killed Mako Mori, and then all of a sudden you're just like, here comes Godzilla '98 all over again. You're taking a good property and you're screwing the pooch with it. I keep waiting for Del Toro to sit there and say, I want to do a crossover. And I keep waiting for him to do that, but he keeps putting this off. Let's see. Let me go back to the chat real quick, and then I want to talk some creature features. And I'll even get the ball rolling. Is I want to hear from Krittur. I really want to hear him, and let's talk a little Bigfoot. Because Bigfoot doesn't get enough love these days. See, Tom's saying, those early, early 19, yeah, the junks were amazing. Willard, we'll talk about the rat movie. Willard,
Yeah.
yes, very good movie.
Willard and Ben.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very good. Let's see. I had no beef with rats. James Harrison wrote a book called Rats, and they made it into a movie. And the movie is about giant rats, and you can see that they're actually dogs.
Oh my god! I don't think I've seen that one. I have to
They
see
put
it.
they put some horrible shit around on the dogs, and you just like look at it and going like, that is a dog there. You're not fooling anybody.
I
Yeah.
remember the Food of the Gods movies with the giant rats.
Yeah.
Those were kind of scary as a kid. I liked them though.
Oh my god! You know what though? That movie would have been scary except for one thing. That movie had Morjo Gortner in it, and that guy is like the biggest, hammiest actor in the '70s. That guy did more cheesy movies than anybody else during the '70s. Let's see. Tom says he has no beef with rats. I don't. Let's see. Seven Samurai. Oh, talking about Seven Samurai. It's your favorite Japanese movie? Yeah, I know a lot of people love Seven Samurai. Says here. I want to see a giant Neptune revenge movie. Let's see. There's some other movies, Skunk Ape, Mothman, and Goatman. I think those are all those are all urban legends, right? Mothman, Goatman, and Skunk Ape. I never heard of Skunk Ape. So what do you think of cryptids? I mean, do you think it's safe to say that what came first, in your opinion, as far as wide acceptance? Was it cryptid movies, like creatures like Bigfoot and Creatures of Black Lagoon, or was it kaiju films such as King Kong, Godzilla, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms? What do you think had the most influence as far as the American, as far as we accepted, creature features and monster movies?
Definitely the creature features, like Creature of the Black Lagoon, and then we had stuff like Them, which I love.
Oh man,
Attack of the 50-foot Gila monster. Like I think the Americans preferred the creature features, and then the Japanese people were more like kaiju, and then they started to intermingle and like so on and so forth.
man, if I'm not mistaken, didn't them come out the same year as Godzilla? Didn't it come out in 1954?
Maybe.
I think
Trying
it's
to
either
think.
54 or 56, somewhere around there though.
So, gosh, see, this is what I really miss having independent TV stations like we used to. Because they used to run those movies out all the time. Now I'm sure them is probably on Tubi, and if it is, I highly recommend watching them. Man, that was a spooky ass movie. Giant mutated ants, terrific movie. I
Yep,
mean, way ahead of its
1954.
time. It was 54. I thought so.
Yep.
Really underrated film as far and sort of surprised. I mean, I know they try to do Empire of the Ants. That was it had Joan Collins in it. But
Haven't seen it.
them, ah, man, if there was a movie that they could remake today that could kick ass, it would actually be them. I think that was a
So
great movie.
I grew up on a hill that was infested with ants, and I grew up with them like on repeat, and it just like that movie struck home to me, man. Because like anything you did, like you could leave water out, and then ants would like be in it 5 minutes later. It was crazy. That one's a
Uh,
personal. Ooh.
Yeah, has there been a creature feature movie that has spooked either one of you? Like, oh hell no.
Creature feature that spooked me. Um, The Gate when I was a kid. When I was a
Nice.
kid, the movie The Gate terrified me for some reason.
Yeah.
Little creatures coming out of a pit in the ground, and
Right.
yeah, I
Right.
didn't like it. I loved Gremlins and Critters, but for some reason, The Gate was too much for me.
Yeah. The gate was a little heavier. That was actually a true horror film.
Yeah.
What
There's a
about you?
sequel. It wasn't bad.
What about you, Critter? Tell us about some of the like. What's your favorite big? I'll ask for the both of you. I'll ask you for the chat too because I want to hear what everybody else says. Okay, so first of all, let me set the table for this because I want to hear you guys because I already know how you guys are going to roll on this, and I'm so glad you're here for this. So a couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, Tom might have even been there. So I was on Movies and Beyond, and he did a tier list, right? Battle of the horror icons. And so we all got to pick our favorite horror icon to put them on the wheel. Then they spin the wheel and then they fight. So I picked Bigfoot because Bigfoot needs love. So I put Bigfoot on there. So the last battle of the night turns out they spun the wheel, and Bigfoot was fighting. He fought fucking Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter. That's who he fought. That's who he fought. Worse,
Oof.
he lost.
Ow.
Bigfoot.
That's
Now,
it depends.
do you know any world where Bigfoot would lose to Dexter Morgan?
Yeah, if Dexter has time to plan it all out and has tools at his disposal, I could see it.
I
You
don't know
can
how
actually see
he.
it happening. I couldn't see it. It would just be way too. He's just, he's like a miniature Hulk. He's like 7-8 feet tall, 500-600 pounds. I mean, as soon as he just puts his hand on him, it's over with.
Dexter would like be stalking him with like poison darts or something.
I don't know. I think he's sort of a. Let's see. Tom's saying Tremaine. Oh, really? Filmmaker Tremaine Toho has just made a Bigfoot movie. Hell yeah! Oh, I definitely got to get him on now to talk Bigfoot. So they ran that out there, and it's like, I mean, Dexter's a cool character and all that, but the guy couldn't even he couldn't even stop his wife from being killed. Do you really think I could trust him to stop Bigfoot? No. Just
Good point.
I don't know, man, because like Bigfoot is so elusive. I don't think Dexter would be able to track him. You
Yeah,
know,
No
that's a good
and
doubt.
point
like it
too.
would take like horse tranks. It would take a
Mm,
lot.
dude, I mean, there's only one person that's ever stopped Bigfoot in his tracks, and even that he took a beating in doing it, and that was Colonel Steve Austin. That's the only from from
Stone
the
Cold
six
Steve
million
Austin.
dollar man. That's the only one that ever
Oh, okay.
stopped Bigfoot was Steve Austin, the Bionic Man.
I was thinking of the wrestler.
Uh, no, I think
And I was
Critter
just
knew what I was.
imagining, yeah, okay.
I think Critter knew where I was going with that. Um, so, what do you think of the American? I mean, we talked about the Japanese side of kaiju and whatnot. Let's go to the American one because American has made some really good movies. Not so much franchises. I mean, I don't think we really would have had a franchise of even King Kong without Godzilla. So I don't even want to say that we have a Godzilla or a King Kong franchise, but we tend to go with standalone movies pretty much. What are some of the better monster movies that American has made that you would think that would match up against what the Japanese have done?
Man, I don't know. I don't have anything coming to mind for real. Like, I mean, the Critters obviously like personal favorites. Gremlins, but like I really can't think of all that many monster movies that I really just love like that. Not on the level of like Godzilla or even half the level, really.
I was thinking
I
Tremors
have
would
some.
be one.
The first one was
Oh,
good.
speaking of,
Uh-oh.
I can't see anything with these goggles on.
If he pulls out a grabber here, I'm gonna be really I'm gonna geek out.
Yeah, I got a graboid somewhere.
No way, really?
Um, where the heck is it hiding?
Yeah, Doc Kaiju rolling in strong today, kids.
I might be striking out. I might have moved it. Oh, it's right here.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Steven.
It's a
Oh,
3D printed graboid that I got from an expo. It was a
that is so.
horror
I have
weeb
never seen
expo.
that. I have never seen a Tremors monster a figure. That's
Yeah, this is the first
amazing.
one I've seen too. And I haven't been able to, and like a lot of times, like the 3D printed things, like they're kind of generic and you like see them all over the internet. Last time I looked, I was not able to find a 3D printed graboid like this. So I feel like it was a pretty good score.
Our friend Ben from Cadaver Club, shout out to Ben. He is making a massive 3D he's making a massive 3D of Gigan at his work.
Oh, nice.
I
Cool.
cannot wait for that. Every time I talk to him, because we do a show together once a month, and I always sit there and say, how close are you to finishing it? Because I really want to see it. The thing is supposed to be like just massive. So
Is
okay,
it
so
full size, like 200 feet?
no, I tried. I did try that. I did try to do, like, hey man, if you can do that, man, I'll chip in some money for that. I got $20 I can throw it. Okay, see, look at Samuel coming in here, and he's speaking our language. He's sitting there going like, King Kong and Pacific Rim are about it. I'm with you. See, that's what I'm saying. You got that Hollow Earth, and then they're talking about a breach, and I'm going like, look, they're talking about a breach in Godzilla. That's what they talked about in Pacific Rim. So why the hell can't you guys put it together?
I feel like that would
Originally,
mess up Monsterverse though.
Okay. Let's
at this
see.
point, it's already messed up.
Yeah, it's true. And and people haven't been able to like hold back on like spilling rumors from the what do you call it? Uh Godzilla versus Godzilla Kong Supernova test screenings. So like I've already heard a little bit about how wonky things are gonna get from here. So things are gonna get even more out there for Monsterverse, the American Godzilla movies. And
What now? Talk to us a little bit about Supernova. Now, I
Mhm.
mentioned before that it seems like this season of Monarch is really a Godzilla movie without the theatrical release.
Right.
Is that a fair assessment, Doc?
That's what the hype is for it. That's what the trailers look like, but we'll see. I know that they have an overlapping executive producer now with the rest of the MonsterVerse films. There's like kind of like a uniting executive producer to kind of make sure everything's streamlined, and they want to do, I think it's two spin-offs from Monarch. They're going to have one on the young Lee Shaw, and then they want to have, I think they said it might be like kind of almost like a documentary type of thing, or maybe that was just what fans are hoping for, but they haven't given any details as to the other spin-off yet. And
Now,
Dude, they have a Planet
Godzilla.
Earth
No, it
style
would be
thing.
Godzilla and Kong for Supernova, or just one.
yep, I'm gonna be Godzilla and Kong for Supernova. I don't know if they're gonna give more attention to Godzilla this time, but the opponent is gonna be Space Godzilla.
Oh, okay, okay. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I, I just I just feel like if you could do something like that, you could. I just don't see any reason why anybody that controls Pacific Rim, which is legendary, I don't see why they wouldn't want it. I would, if I was them, I would be campaigning. I would be campaigning to join my franchise with yours. And there's a massive fan base for the Pacific Rim movies. Um,
They might
I just
they
I
might be
just think
waiting for
that's
people to get sick of King Kong and Godzilla, like that mashup. They might, when that cash cow runs out, then maybe they'll go to Pacific Rim.
maybe. I would like to
They're
see Del
they're
Toro. I would love to
completely
see Del Toro do it though before he moves on. I think that I would love to see him to bring the magic he had for the first one. Um,
they're in Pacific Rim with like a comic book now though. Like it's like the final breach or something like that, which they could just say is non-canonical, but like I think they've just about given up on Pacific Rim really.
yeah, and that's a real shame too. It really is because it's so tailor made for it. I thought when I saw the success of Kong versus Godzilla, I'm thinking, wow, you could do that now. And if you did, it would just blow up. I mean, I can't imagine how big it would have been if they would have said, hey, we're gonna have Kong and Godzilla, meet Pacific Rim, Gypsy and Eureka. Of course, they have to do a lot of repair on Eureka, but uh, yeah, I'm with you. That would be cool. That would be absolutely amazing. Um, let's see. Let's see what else is saying here. Going like, we need a sequel to Godzilla 1998. Title of this film Godzilla.
I would
We
actually be
have
down
one.
for
It's a
that.
comic a cartoon.
Yeah, the
um,
cartoon is pretty much the sequel.
yeah. I mean, it's funny too. I'm thinking, okay, since they don't want to do Pacific Rim, but they're not completely without an ace in the hole, and that is Jet Jaguar. So
Mm,
why not bring Jet Jaguar into the mix? I mean, if you don't want to do Pacific Rim, you don't want to have anything to do with that. You still could bring out Jet Jaguar, and
That
this
would be
time give him power his ass up. Other than flashlights.
I think I think there were rumors that he was going to be in Supernova, but I'm pretty sure those were only rumors. They never took out the trademark on Jet Jaguar. At least they never
yeah.
registered it.
Yeah, that would be cool if they could do something like that.
That would be. Have you seen the Ninja Turtles Godzilla crossover toys that are coming out or came out?
No, I know that Godzilla has done a ton of crossovers, both with Marvel and DC. Godzilla's done crossovers with both of them.
They have Donatello as Jet Jaguar.
Oh, gotta look that up.
April O'Neil
Now,
is
now,
Raphael Rodan.
as far as you guys' personal collection go, well, first of all, before I'm going to do that, I'm going to ask this question. So, how did you two meet and start your podcast?
I
So
was a red. Oh, good.
I mean, like, you give your point of view, I'll give mine. But like, I was just randomly adding people, like on Snapchat, and just looking up different things and like just kind of came across him, and then we just like instantly were just best friends.
That's awesome. That's great. So you're looking
Yeah.
for other people who like were you looking for other kaiju minded people or a creature
Yeah.
feature kind of people? Yeah, that's definitely see how that happens. Is that how you remember it, Doc?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. I got a random ad from someone named I don't remember if it was Critter or Frogman, and and I had no idea who this was, and I thought it could have been some rando from a personals ad or something that was like trying to hit me up, and no, it was this awesome guy. But
That's
I had
awesome.
Best friend.
it's funny. I've made online friends that way though before. I remember back during the AOL days when I was a teenager. I made friends with a woman. Her name was Mothra, and she lived in California, and she was of Japanese descent. And I lost touch with her, and I'm really sad about that. But she was awesome. She was an older woman. She was a big Godzilla fan.
Oh, that's cool as hell. Yeah,
Well,
I met some really cool kaiju fans here as well. The aforementioned Ben from Cadaver Club, and then our friend Casey from Interweb Kaiju. You guys should have that guy on as a guest. That guy, he does awesome reviews. His channel's lit, definitely lit. I'll send it to you on Facebook. You definitely should have him come on as a guest. He's reviewed just about everything. And he actually stayed with me for the whole time I had August Rogon on. Who I guess is, I'm not sure if do you know who August Rogon is? Have you ever heard of him? He
No.
wrote the American version. He wrote the American version of Godzilla. Like he's like the expert, at least over here. Well, they consider him an expert over there in Japan too.
Well, then I've definitely like at least come across his name once or twice because like I kind of wanted to get that novelization.
Yeah, he wrote
Oh,
a
is it that fellow?
no,
The fellow
he
doing the
actually he wrote a book on the whole background, all the people who were in the Godzilla movies, as far as the creators go, like Honda, and then
Okay.
the special effects guy, the Ibera.
Is that
You
the
know,
author of this one? Hold on, I gotta. No, you're probably referring to an older book. I got this one. Critter got me this.
We both had to have it.
Yeah,
This is
what year did
by
it come out? I think
Steve.
his book is out of print.
Okay, yeah, this is a newer one. This is Steve
Okay.
Rifle and Ed Godziszewski.
No, it would be August Ragon. But he wrote a really, really well received book, but it's out of print now. I don't know if it ever actually got I'm not sure if anybody decided to re-release it or not. What is the best? If anybody's new, and to Godzilla or creature features or what have you. Krittur, I didn't even ask you. I asked Doc this, like, what 3 Godzilla movies would he introduce to an audience? Well, I'm going to ask you, what 3 creature features would you introduce to an audience?
Oh, do you count Alien as a creature feature?
Yes,
Or are we
definitely.
talking
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because like Alien's a classic. I love the cheesiness of like Critters 1. And the third Critters movie is DiCaprio's first movie ever. So
Right.
like that, and then probably I guess like I'd have to say them because like they don't really make movies like they used to. I guess I'd
Now,
have to go with that.
I watched the thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I watched it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I just didn't quite hold it up to the same esteem as everybody else did. I thought it was really well. I thought it was okay, but man, when I was thinking about watching them, I was thinking that is some creepy ass shit right there, and the noises they make. It was like, man, oh man, you turn off the TV. I don't think about the creature and the thing anymore. But holy shit! All of a sudden you hear noise outside by your window, and you think that's some fucking ant coming in my house.
Especially
thank
growing
you.
up, yeah.
Yeah, give me that can of Raid. So one last topic I'm going to cover, and because Doc, because I definitely want to cover this with you. So tell us a little bit about well, I guess I should ask you, when did you guys decide to do your podcast first? When did you decide to do it? Because your podcast is pretty fire.
Oh, thank you. Well, we've been talking about it for, I don't know, probably almost as long as we've known each other at this point, I think. We finally just did it. Krittur kept pushing me, and Lady Shasha gave me the final boot, said, no, you just got to do it. Don't worry about it, whether or not it's good or perfect. Just do it. They'll get better each time. And
Lady Sasha, okay, you know Lady Sasha. She's awesome.
yeah, I love Shasha.
Yeah, she's really sweet. I love her, and I love the Wonder Twins. They're also really, the double feature, twin double feature.
Oh, yep, double feature podcast.
Yes, yeah.
They're really
Mika,
awesome.
Kira, yeah, love them too. Call them the Wonder Twins. They're really cool too. So you guys, so Krittur, you pushed it, and then you guys finally decided to do it. How's it been so far? What have you what have you liked best about doing the podcast? Is it meeting different people, different topics? How do you keep it fresh?
Well, we've only done 3, right?
Yeah, I think we've only done 3 because like every time we plan it, it's like something comes up.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you guys advertise the show more than 3 times.
Yeah, because we kept having to postpone them.
Yeah.
Those damn ants ate through my cable again. God damn it! We're not supposed to talk about them. And the other thing I was going to touch bases with you on too is tell us a little bit about From Academy. I mean, what's that all about?
Yeah, so I sometimes do a show on Julie B Deep Dives called From Academy, where we cover topics about From, which is MGM's biggest show right now, and I think it's probably the best horror TV show on TV, at least currently. And yeah, so I'm kind of obsessed with the show. Krittur got me into the show, and that got me my taste of live streaming too, because Julie brought me on to her show, and we did the program together. And not sure when we'll be starting that back up yet. I need to talk to Julie about that. But yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into that. So we'll like deep dive out the topics. We started off with the creators of the show. We deep dive into each one, their preferred methods of storytelling and things like that. This way we'd have insight as to what kind of story they're trying to tell it from. That'll give some insight as to where the story is going, how it will develop. Then from there, like we did deep dives on like the Man in Yellow, the Boy in White. We did, I think it was 4 deep dives on the nightmare creatures, the smiling monsters that come out of the woods. That was pretty intense. The third one I think is the best out of them. The second and third one. The second one we break down like each of them as like characters. And anyway, I'm rambling.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, we got season 4 coming out, and I'm so excited. And I became friends with Doug Hughes through the stream, through Julie's stream, and I've done a couple of lives with him on my show, on my channel.
Is he one of the producers? Is he one of the producers of the show?
Oh no, Douglas E. Hughes plays the Man in Yellow on From.
Oh, okay. So he's one of the actors in it.
Yep, he's one of the actors. He's a villain. Right now we don't know if he's the main villain or what, but he's at least seems like he could be a big bad for the show. And I am like so pumped for season 4 to see him in it, and like I'm hoping this like really helps project his career, because like he's such an awesome guy. I want to see him really succeed.
Very much so. He's so sweet. He's so kind.
Aren't they always? I mean, the people you talk to. I mean, that's just that's part of the reason why you like doing shows like this, because you meet so many cool people, and they're very nice people, including the people who are behind the scenes of the movies and TV shows that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally get that. So right now that's still in a work in progress. What about your guys' next your two next podcasts? I know you dropped one. I did put the link down below to Kritter's channel, so you guys can go over there and check. Or to Kritter, do you have a tube yourself?
No, not really. I have one that I made stupid videos like 12 years ago, but like I don't really actually have a personal YouTube channel.
We
Okay.
have our own channel that we're trying to get members, well, subscribers onto, so that when we get enough, we can stream
Monetize.
onto that one.
Right. I'm
So
gonna
we
make
have
sure I
that
have
Kaiju
both.
and Krittur Show.
I'll have to make sure I have both your links in there, and also put it from Academy. So when you guys come back tomorrow, all the links will be up there for Krittur and Doc. And we have hit our mark. Actually, I've kept you over a little bit, but it was worth it. Definitely worth it. I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us, and to the chat who have been tearing it up tonight. Thank you so much for that. I appreciated that.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Dominic said he just subscribed to Doc Kaiju. That's right.
You.
That's what I love hearing. And you guys can go down to my description box down below. I have all the links to Doc, and you guys go down there and subscribe to him. And it's a really good podcast. I highly recommend listening to the new one with Monarch. I listened to that, and that was a badass pod. You guys have done really, really well, and I can see you guys only getting bigger and more popular as Godzilla gets bigger and more popular. So, not too many channels dedicated to Godzilla. I mean, not as much as you think. So it really surprises me. Really surprises me that there's not more out there, but there really isn't. So I think that's one of the reasons why your channel is doing really well. And like I said, I'll send you the link to Casey and Ben's channel. You guys need to sub to those guys.
Yes, please.
Maybe do a massive panel. That would actually be rocking. All right, to the chat, thank you so much for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. Yes,
we'll be covering Monarch Legacy of Monsters season 2.
Beware and friends just mentioned get Doc Kaiju and Professor Macabro on the stream. Hell yeah, the professor also. Yes, yeah. He and I are also known as budget ballers. We go shopping for movies on the cheap, but that's because we love doing it. It's awesome. It's fun. I keep hoping that someone's going to donate a Gamera box set from that they had a couple of years ago, a Criterion box, or I think they did a Criterion Godzilla release where they had 15 films for like $300.
I have all of them.
Do you? Oh,
I do.
I was thinking about doing the Gamera one, and then they wanted $300 for the Gamera one, and we're like, I just got a public domain one here for like $1. Oh, okay. But
did you see my Gamera?
Now, which one's that one?
It's a Gamera.
Is that Gamera? Oh, it's Gamera. Okay, I couldn't see. Go ahead.
I think from Gamera versus Legion, maybe.
That's badass. I have never seen it. I haven't seen a Gamera figure yet. I got a little miniature Godzilla one, about the same size as my Gigan, and then I have a larger one of Jet Jaguar. That's the only 3 kaiju that I have so far.
They're
hard to find.
Yeah, I got that at a Godzilla convention in '97.
Do you guys have? It's gonna be funny. Do you guys have Funko Pops of the Godzilla?
Yes.
Of the Godzilla.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of them around here.
And my son stole it.
Oh my gosh! I have the one Funko Pop I'm looking for is not kaiju related, but it is creature feature related critter, and that's Black Phillip from The Witch.
Oh yeah, sweet.
85. And then I collect gremlins.
Okay. What about Ghoulies?
I love Ghoulies, but unfortunately they don't have as cool toys for Ghoulies, at least not affordably. They
put out Ghoulies 3. They put that out on Vestron. They released it on Blu-ray or 4K Vestron.
Oh really?
I love Ghoulies. I like the cat Ghoulie with the cat head.
Yeah. I love the first 3. The 4th one where they swapped the what do you call it, puppets for little people. I don't like as much, but the first three I loved. And as
Yeah,
a
I love
kid,
Ghoulies too.
the third one was a riot for me as a kid.
I know
I've seen
my,
the
my
movie with
friend my
all
friend
the
Eric
drama.
my friend my friend Eric hit internet. It's Eric. He says I can't stand Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies go to college, and I'm like, how the hell could you not? It had Eva LaRue in it, and it had Hope Marie Carlton. What's the hate? Why the hate? I mean, those two are two of the best screen queens out there. Why the hate? But I love Ghoulies too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up real quick here. Let you know what's coming up on the channel. Tomorrow night, we will have actress and teaching coach Laura LaMonaco will be here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. This Sunday, the 22nd, we'll be here as Mary Wilson will be leading us down down into the haunted house that houses the Midnight Man. And that's with Robert England and Lynn Shay, and we'll be talking about that for the IFC Midnight Show. That'll be 8 o'clock on Sunday, and come by and get and our guest night will be our friend Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. She will be our special guest night on this coming Sunday. So you guys are all welcome to come out there and talk the Midnight Man. And then next week we have. What do we have? We have 2 shows next week, I think. Let me see. We have, yes, on the 24th, we have Scarlett Fry will be with us on the 24th. Can't wait to talk to him. He's a horror host and also runs a horror group on Facebook. And he's also a filmmaker. And he has put out the Scarlet Collection. And we'll be talking to him on next Tuesday, the 24th. And then a week from tonight, we'll be talking, or a week from tomorrow, we'll be talking with our good friend Ryan Conway from Real Talk with Ryan. So we still have some cool shows coming up here on 8 Questions With and the ISC Midnight Show. And I guess that's it for me. Well, thank you again, chat, for coming by. And we will see you Sunday night we'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry. We'll see you tomorrow night for Laura LaMonaco. And thank you again for your support. I appreciate it. And Doc and Krittur, you stay right there for 1 second. To everybody else, we're going to say good night. And thank you for coming. Peace.
Peace.
Wait, no, we want to invade.